Where do you live? Here in KL?
I mean, in this suburb.
Yeah, I see you, Terry. You all live in these chicken cages. I mean, aren't there some activists against breeding, in cages for animals? But we allow it for human beings to breed in these cages as all apartment buildings? Huh? There are cages, huh? Yeah, thousands of people living in one complex. Huh? We should be against it, We should, against, breeding animals in these places, I mean, humans, we breed in these places, And then live in these places, breed in these places, and then they get into a cage, on 4 wheels, and drive to the office. That is also a cage, When they're finished working, they go back in the cage, back into their cages, in the apartment building. What kind of life is that, huh? Are we still human beings or what? But we don't think about it, We actually, we think, we are free to choose to live in these things. But we are actually not free to choose. Most of us even can't afford, to live in a bigger cage. Or stall, called houses. Monks live in nature, with trees surrounding, with the animals surrounding it, But humans just like to breathe, in these cages. Kind of life, I mean, you really don't think about, what is the purpose of our life, right? Why do we live in a way like this, We are not forced to. I mean, we could live differently if we like to. But we like to cage in ourselves with other human beings, and the more comfortable it is, The more we feel secure. In a place like in a cave where no other beings are living, we feel afraid. But in these big towers or with lots of people around us, we feel safe. Strange, very strange. Strange kind of things. And we never ask ourselves, what is the purpose of our life? Why are we born? And when we die, what are we going to take with us? Don't ask. Just live. Just look, getting married, having children, working and dying. Huh? No? Anything else outside of this? Yeah. Entertaining. Huh? Is that all about life? We have so much time that we kill the time with all these video games or with these SMS, talking to each other, but not knowing what is going on inside our heart. We're talking to others, constantly, sometimes for hours, especially on these strange devices that are glued to our ears, I mean, I see even old people, 80 years old, If some space people come from another planet and you look at this world and think, are they crazy? What are they doing? glued to their smartphones. Their whole life is in their smartphones. Yeah? Not knowing why one is living, what one is doing with one's life. And only few people, just like the Lord Buddha said, only few people have little sand in their eyes, so that they can see what is important. Most of us, our eyes are full of sand, or blind. We can't see what is important in our life. That's why we follow the herd. And if there's a big leader, all the people follow him. No matter what he says, he says go to war, and then we go to war. We think we don't have a choice. We do have a choice. Every moment in our life we have a choice. We have a choice to do good, or we have the choice to do bad. No? But we don't see this choice because we are constantly, busy with our smartphone. So we bump into other people, we don't see left, we don't see right, And especially if we are very young, our parents give us, these smartphones so that we shut up. If we cry out, play around with this, with these video games or whatever it is. What is the purpose of our life? Ask yourself this question, sometimes, ask yourself every morning, what is the purpose of our life? We get up, we eat something, we do something, we eat something, and then we go to sleep. Since we are born, we call this doing something, always something else. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's jogging, sometimes it's doing, working out, but it's still the same thing. And at the end, we have to die. And then, at that moment, we probably ask ourselves, was it really valuable, this life? What can we take with us? This body we can't take with us. The family we can't take with us. All the money that we have gathered, that we're so constantly hurrying after, we can't take with us. What can we take with us? That is the important question for us. The only thing we can take up with us is our good deeds and our bad deeds. And that determines our next life. How many bad deeds have we done? How much time have we wasted? It is as if this life is too long, we need to kill the time. Don't you see it, the fallacy of all this? We need to kill the time with any kind of entertainment. We are bored, we kill time. Aren't we bored? It's a form of dukkha, it's a first noble truth. Dukkha. You know what dukkha is? It's not suffering. It's restlessness, boredom, dis-ease, discomfort, pain, and of course also suffering. That's our dukkha. It's the first noble truth. If we don't understand the first noble truth, there's no way out. You can't find a way out because we don't understand what is dukkha. It already starts in the morning, dukkha. We don't want to get up. That's dukkha. Then we are hungry. It's dukkha. Then we are thirsty. It's dukkha. Then we can't sit in the same position. It's dukkha. But we don't realize this dukkha of the body. We only know how to get rid of dukkha. And so when we're hungry, we eat. When we're tired, we sleep. When we're thirsty, we drink. And when something is itching, we run to the doctor. Give us some painkillers. Give us some painkillers. No? Huh? We don't want to see the dukkha. Huh? That's why, lots of people, or some young people take these drugs, not to see the dukkha of our life. Or alcohol. Why do we drink alcohol? We want to release ourselves of dukkha. That's the only reason. Not because it's tasty. I mean, if you give a 5-year-old kid, beer or wine, or alcohol, it's so disgusting. Huh? But we like it as adults, we drink it, we love it. Yeah? Because it makes the mind blurred. And when the mind is blurred, it doesn't see the dukkha. Yeah? So this alcohol, these drugs, lead us, into more delusion. We delude ourselves, this, okay. And while we are, in this blurred state, we do a lot of bad things. Yeah? We say things that we regret later, we do things that we regret later. Yeah? Because this alcohol and these drugs, take away the inhibitions, yeah? Our normal consciousness. Yeah? And that's not good. We shouldn't do that. Yeah? But when we drink alcohol, there is no inhibition. Yeah? So we should understand dukkha. I mean, the one thing, we don't realize the dukkha of the body. Yeah? What kind of sukha, what of comfort does the body give you? Yeah? Getting rid of the dukkha, that is the sukha of the body. Huh? When we're hungry, we eat, and then we feel fine. When we're tired, we sleep, and then we feel fine. When we are hot, we take a shower, and then we feel fine. Yeah? But we don't realize before that, before that comfort arises, came the discomfort. Yeah? In German, we have a saying, run with your head against the wall because it's so beautiful when the pain goes away. And that's exactly, what we're doing. Yeah? We constantly run with our head against the wall, because it's so nice when this feeling of pain subsides. Oh, we are happy, we're eating, because the pain of the hunger. Yeah? We drink because of the pain of thirst. Yeah? We go to sleep because of the pain of tiredness, because of the dukkha. We don't sleep when we're not tired. Or we don't eat when we're not hungry. Except if we have lots of dukkha in our heart. We eat lots of sweet things, yeah? And then we get even more dukkha because the body gets fatter and fatter and fatter. It's a circle we don't get out. Understand the first noble truth, yeah? And understand the origin of dukkha. It's the second noble truth. It's our desire. Yeah? Wanting, wanting to be this, wanting to be that, yeah? Not wanting to be that, yeah? Desiring this and desiring that, and not wanting to meet with this or not wanting to meet with that. Or in other words, in just one word, not being comfortable with the way things are. That's create dukkha. When we are comfortable with the way things are, what is it? It's not recording?
It's recording and people are saying you're speaking too soft.
Yeah, then turn it up. Yeah. Well, I should go closer, but I hate these microphones in my face. You don't have any, I mean, just like in these cages, you don't have any freedom. It's okay now?
Yeah, we'll try it.
If you don't understand what I'm saying, then listen with your heart, yeah? But why do you sit in the back seats anyway, yeah? Just like in school, because we were not interested, right? The people, the students who always sat very far in the back, I mean, they played with something, yeah. They weren't interested in what the teacher said, yeah. So realize, dukkha and the origin of dukkha. If we are comfortable, with the way things are, but we are not. We are not comfortable with our life. We are not comfortable with the situation we are living in. We are not comfortable with our partner. Yeah, most of the time, sometimes we are. Yeah? We are not comfortable with the working conditions. We are not comfortable with the government. Yeah. And that's why we have this dukkha. And we need to get, we need to find ways how to get rid of this dukkha. Yeah? That's why we do all these things. Yeah? Mostly getting into delusion, playing around, thinking, going to a fun park or amusement park, or playing with the TV, watching TV, movies. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see other people having dukkha. That's why we love to see dramas, especially family dramas. That relieves us, some sort, and we think, other people just have the same problems. No, even worse. Yeah? And then we feel better. Yeah? I mean, our newspapers don't report, about these. Yeah? People, giving dharana to this monk and having, wonderful time. Yeah? No, they report about murders, rapes, about, government corruption and all these things where we can really get aggressive. The more we read this, the more we listen to it, or the more we watch this, the more aggressive we actually get. Not going to realize that. The moment Luangta realized that, he got rid of all the newspapers, he chucked all the TV, yeah. He said, what's the use of it? I just get aggravated by this. In German we have a saying, what I don't know doesn't make me hot. It doesn't agitate me. And that is true. Yeah? If I don't know things that are going on in the world or even around me, I don't get agitated. Huh? So why do we look for these things, that agitate us, that irritate us, that make us angry? We have enough things, in our life, just the working condition, our partner that makes us angry. Why do we need to all these other things as well, huh? Because everybody around us does it, yeah? And that's why we do it. And I said, you need to do it. Do you know? Yeah? They asked, did you read it? Did you hear about that? And they can't admit it that they don't know. Huh? They have to know. They have to know. Huh? It's an impulse. Huh? Just say, I don't care. I don't know. Is it interesting? Is it important for my life? If it is important for my life, I should know, of course, yeah. I should know the dukkha that is in my heart. I should know the motivation why I do these things. No? Huh? Why I'm saying the things that I'm saying? Huh? Do we know? Huh? Why do I look down on other people and say, this person is not good, look what this person is doing? Huh? Don't we say that very often? Look what that person is doing. Huh? And we? Huh? What are we doing? Do we ever look at what we are doing? We only look at what other people are doing. Huh? So we blame the government, we blame all these, our colleagues, Huh? We blame our neighbors. Yeah? We never blame ourselves. Are we saints? Huh? Other people blame us. Have you ever realized that? Do you like that? Huh? If you don't like it, don't do it. Huh? What is the saying? Don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. Huh? For whatever is happening to you right now is what you have done unto others. That is the logical conclusion of it. Huh? Don't like it. Don't like to hear that. Yeah? We like to blame other people for our misfortune. Yeah? But we never blame other people for our fortune. Huh? If you lose some money, because of some what is it, bank crash or something, of course we blame the government or this or that, this company or that company. Yeah? But if we win in the lottery, we don't blame anybody. We think it is our right, to win. Yeah? It's not our right to lose. Yeah? It's always our right to win. Yeah? The bad things that happen to us, it is made by others. Yeah? The good things, that happen to us, of course it is of our own good. Yeah? We work so hard, and we are such good people. No, everything. Be it bad or be it good, it is of our own doing. Yeah? Don't think otherwise. It makes life very different. We are born in this situation, we are born in Malaysia, or we are born in Hong Kong, or in China, or wherever we were born, because of our kamma. We have the family that we were born into because of our kamma. We have the situation that we face now because of our kamma. We even have our partner because of our kamma. And if we have lots of money or little money because of our kamma. Yeah? And people respect us or don't or disrespect us because of our kamma. Yeah? That hurts. That really hurts. It's something that really hurts. Yeah? We don't want to admit it. Yeah? And I understand it. It was very difficult for Luangta to admit it to himself. It took weeks or months to admit it. Yes, it is because of your own doing. Yeah? No, there's something that doesn't want to give in. Yeah? But if we can admit to it, our life becomes much, much easier. There's nobody to blame for our misfortune, than ourselves. Yeah? We haven't provided in the past to be better off. Yeah? Just like, every farmer, nowadays we are so far away from producing food, so we don't know it. If a farmer wants to eat rice, now, he had to plant it last year. Yeah? He had to plant it, and wait until it grows and grows and grows, until it is ripe, and then he can eat it. So why should it be different when we plant some good deeds? Today we do some dana, and tomorrow we go and buy a lottery ticket because we hope we win something. That doesn't come back, instantly. Kamma needs a much, much longer time to run. Most of the kamma that we do in this life only happens in the next life or next lives. That's why murderers run around free. But they're not caught at the end of their life. They will be caught. There's justice. Kamma is very just. It seems unfair, but it's very just. Everybody gets caught. People, the politicians, who are corrupt, they will be in hell for a long time. People who murder or who steal, and they are never caught in this life. Maybe because of corruption, maybe because of this or that. At the end of their life, they will pay for it. The justice system of kamma is very just. Whatever you have done, you have to pay for, or you get back. This is something that we have to understand, to make our life more comfortable, not to have so much to realize it, tell yourself, I only get back what I have sown. And then, once we can accept it, okay. then let's do something, if you want to stay in the samsara wheel and turn around and turn around and turn around, not going anywhere, but at least, make it more comfortable, Put some nice curtains there, paint it golden, so that you don't see the cage. And do the things, that you want to receive. Because there's nothing free in this world. We only get what we prepared for. So if you prepare some nice food, we will have some nice food. But if you don't prepare anything, we don't get it. So if you want to be respected, first of all, you have to learn how to respect other people. If you want to be loved, you first have to learn how to love other people. And to respect other people, it is very difficult for us. We only respect the people that we like. We disrespect, the beings, be it animals or be it human beings, that we dislike. That's not respect. That's like and dislike. Respecting means, every human being that is born because it has kept the 5 precepts in the previous life, so we can respect it. We don't have to value what they are doing. If they are corrupt politicians, we can respect them as human beings, but we don't have to say that's good what they are doing. That is a different thing. Even the murderer, even the thief that robs us, we can respect them as a human being. We don't have to like what they're doing. We don't have to say it is good what they are doing. You can say it is against the precepts, so it's bad. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't respect them as human beings and treat them as human beings. Everybody has the right to be treated as a human being or as an animal. And being grateful for what is given to you. How grateful are we nowadays in our world, lost? Maybe it's a little bit more in Asia, but in the West, nobody's grateful anymore. It is my right to have this, it's my right to have that. Are we grateful for our parents that they raised us? For 20 years they looked after us, They cleaned our shit. We shit all over them, and they cleaned it up, Are we grateful for them? They sacrificed their lives, for raising us. We should be grateful to our parents. What did the Lord Buddha say? Our parents, they are our arahants. So we should we should respect them and treat them very well. But we should be also grateful if work is given to us. If you get a job, be very grateful. If you get money for the job, if you get an apartment, if somebody rents us an apartment or rents us a house, you should be grateful for all these things. Being grateful is something, it lifts up the heart. Being respectful is something that lifts up the heart. Why do we only do the things that push down our heart? That makes us feel sad and depressed. If you run through the world, being grateful, somebody, gives us way, when we drive our car, somebody lets us in. Why not? Take all these opportunities. Being grateful, being respectful, that is something that lifts our heart. We have enough dukkha. Just look at your faces. There's so much dukkha in your faces. So we should do things. Why don't we do things, that makes us happy? Generosity is also something that makes us happy. Just think about it. Think about, if you have a friend and you want to give him a present, just thinking about giving a present makes you happy. Yeah? Why don't we do it more often? Yeah? Then giving the present makes us happy. And when we get something back, it makes us also happy. Yeah? So why don't we do it more often? Yeah? Because we are stingy? Huh? We want all the things for ourselves? Yeah? That's a stingy person. We only want to keep these. It is our right to be happy. But we look for happiness in the wrong place. Where does happiness arise? In our heart. Oh. But we think, happiness arises in buying a new car. Yeah? Or getting a bigger house or bigger cage. Yeah? Or getting a new curtain, or a new dress, yeah? Or a new handbag. That's really it, huh? Or getting a new hairstyle, huh? Yeah? We need to change ourselves constantly. Yeah? We can't wear the same clothes. Yeah? We need to change the clothes, because wearing the same clothes for 3 or 4 days, how do you feel? I mean, I'm wearing these robes, now for over 20 years. Yeah? Same kind of robes. It doesn't matter to me. The robes are there to keep me warm, yeah, and protect me from the sun. Yeah, that's all what clothes are for. Yeah, but we don't. Yeah, we need to change. We need to change our outside. Yeah, we look for outside happiness. Happiness arising in the things that we buy, or the things that we eat, or the things that we wear, or the things that we have. Yeah. But these are immaterial things. These are material things. But happiness is something that is not material. It is a feeling. Yeah? And it arises in our heart. Just like hate arises in our heart. Or greed arises in our heart. Or anger arises in our heart. But when anger arises in our heart, of course we pinpoint it down to another person. That's the cause of my anger. He's the cause of my anger. But the anger is there in our heart. No? Huh? We feel it. It's a burning feeling. Yeah? And we want to get rid of it, so we want to make that other person suffer. Yeah? Because if that suffers, we are happy. And our anger subsides. Yeah? Strange. What kind of beings are we? Yeah? Because everybody does it, we never reflect about what we're doing. Yeah? Anger arises here. What did the Lord Buddha say about the anger? Yeah? Somebody was throwing anger at him, and he told this person, I don't accept the person. And what happens to the present if I don't accept the person? Whose present is it? It's yours. Yeah? So it's your anger, If I am not affected by your anger, it still is your anger and it's burning, yeah? And the more I am not affected, the more it burns you. If I can't make another person angry or react, I'm getting more and more angry. Yeah? Problem. Do the things, that makes you comfortable. Yeah? And don't look outside, look inside. And that is all what this practice is about, looking inside. Or just following the teachings of all the Buddhas. What did the Lord Buddha say? Yeah? Don't do evil, and do good. Yeah? Or refrain from doing evil and do good. Yeah? That is the teaching of all the Buddhas. Yeah? Very easy summarized. But then he also taught us that the way out of the hamster wheel. Yeah? We open the door for us. Yeah? But we are afraid to go out. Yeah? Yeah? We don't know what is out there. Yeah? It's just like, we go in a deep, dark forest, we don't know what kind of dangers are lurking. So that's why we, stay around, with other people, we feel a little bit more safe. But the monks, actually going into these frightening places, in order to see, what is fear, what is pain, investigating these things. Then we believe we are. So the path to the end of the path, what is it? What is the fourth knowledge? The path that leads to the end of it. Or the path that leads to freedom. What is freedom? What do you think what is freedom? We want to be physical free. Huh? We don't want to be slaves. Yeah? We don't want to be a constant bossed around. Yeah? The moment we close our eyes, there's a voice that constantly bosses us around. Huh? Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, like this, don't like this. Yeah? You know this voice? The moment we close our eyes and try to meditate, huh? You don't sit right, you should sit like this. Huh? Huh? You don't meditate right, you should meditate like that. Huh? This is our boss, who bosses us around. Yeah? And to get rid of this boss, that is the freedom. Not to be bossed around, we like that. Human beings go to war for their freedom, for the physical freedom. Yeah? And they think that's it. They lose their lives. Yeah? But for our inner freedom, we don't go to war. But we should go to war. Yeah? To war with the Kilesa, who are the soldiers of Avijja. Avijja is the mastermind behind. He's the boss. Yeah? He's the creator of this universe. Yeah? And he bosses us around. Yeah? And if you sit too long in meditation, I will induce some pain. Yeah? So you better get up. Otherwise the pain becomes excruciating. Yeah? And we get up, don't we? Yeah? See? He's the perfect slave driver. Yeah? If you don't do what I say, I'll make you really dukkha. If you do what I say, the dukkha is not as difficult. So fighting against the master or the slave driver, that is the way to freedom. Yeah? People don't understand it, the Buddha's teaching. He said it very clearly. Fighting as a single person against the whole army is much easier than to fight oneself. And this oneself is that slave driver, to fight with it. You remember that? Fighting as a single person against the whole army is easier than to fight oneself. Because who do we fight? Whatever we think, whatever we memorize. We fight our knowledge, we have to fight our knowledge, we have to fight our views, we have to fight our opinion. This is good, this is the teaching of the Lord Buddha, this is not the teaching of the Lord Buddha. We have to fight that. Because nothing of the teaching that we read is the truth. It's a pointer to the truth. It is like you read some books about Venice or about Beijing or whatever, big city that is beautiful. There's lots of pictures in it. Yeah? You read it, you understand it, you know it. Yeah? But you have never been there. Huh? So it points to something. And that is the whole teaching of the Lord Buddha. At the time, people forget it. People really forget. At the time of the Lord Buddha, there was no teaching, there were no books. Huh? And now they cling to these books and say this is the truth. No, it's not the truth. It's a pointer to the truth. It's a path leading to the truth. Yeah? But we love to study. Yeah? We love to study about the truth. Yeah? Lots of people take Abhidharma lessons. Yeah? Abhidharma, do you know what it means? Abhidharma? It's a higher Dharma. Yeah? And did he teach a higher Dharma to the humans? Huh? Huh? Who did he teach it to? To the Devas. Because the Devas had the capacity to understand that higher Dharma. The humans didn't have the capacity to understand that higher Dharma. And that's why they want to learn it. Yeah? They think they can understand it. You can tell them, they don't believe it. Yeah? Because they feel better if they start, I studied the Abhidharma. I took some classes in the Abhidharma. Yeah? And did you all do it? Huh? I'm wise. I studied the Abhidharma. What do you know about the Abhidharma? I mean, it talks about these 10,000 or 3,000 mind moments that happen, in the blink of an eye. Huh? You don't even have the sati, to catch your emotions, yeah? To catch the thoughts that create these emotions, yeah? How can you study these 3,000 mind moments, huh? You don't have sati, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know why you're saying things that you're saying, you don't know why you're doing the things that you're doing, that is the basic training for human beings, yeah? Know what you're doing and why you're doing and what the results is. That makes us a human being, huh? Ever heard the definition of a human being? It is aware of what one is doing and why one is doing and what are the results of one's doing. Yeah? And when have you last been a human being? Huh? Huh? When did we ever reflect about our own doings, about the sayings and the thinking that we did? When was the last time? Last night? Huh? That's the definition. Yeah? We think ourselves, being more advanced than animals. Animals follow their desires. Human beings follow their desires. Whatever comes into our mind, we follow it. We never think, why should I do this? Huh? We're happy, some of us, are a little bit more wiser or more skillful, that think, I shouldn't do this. Huh? But most of us just follow our desires, whatever comes to mind. Yeah? Yeah. I need some more money, we never ask, why do we need some more money? Yeah? We just need, okay, now I need to work harder, I want a bigger car, why do I need a bigger car? Yeah? Or better car? To show off? Why I need a new handbag? To show off? Yeah? Let it sink in. Yeah? We want to become human beings, And what makes us human beings is to be able to reflect. Yeah? No? Isn't that the definition? Maybe I'm wrong, yeah? I thought that was a human being who is able to reflect about its own action. Yeah? But we are more like zombies, yeah? Running after our desires, yeah? And not only running after our desires, but also running away from the dukkha. Dukkha, what is dukkha? We have to, what is pain? What is these things? Yeah? We have so many words in our language, but we actually don't know anymore what it means. How does it feel, fear? What is the difference between the feeling of fear and the feeling of restlessness or the feeling of pain? Do we know that? We think we know. Because our whole world, we live in is in our thoughts. And in our memories. Yeah? No? We think we know what pain is, but the moment we investigate pain, it is something very different. What is pain? It's a feeling. Yeah? What is fear? It's a feeling. How is pain created? How is fear created? How are all these feelings created? Do they come? Yeah? Can we change them? So why do we say it is me, it is mine? I feel sad. And the next moment you feel happy. Are you either sad or happy? Can you change a sad feeling into a happy feeling? Try it. You can change your clothes if you don't like them. Huh? That's what belongs to you. But the feelings you can't change. You don't even know how they arise and how they see. Yeah? They are nature, they are impermanent. They are clouds, coming, passing by. Yeah? And then they disappear. And we can't make them disappear. We realize that, we can blur them out, by deluding ourselves, playing around with something, distracting ourselves. That's what we normally do. Yeah? We don't want to know. Yeah? That's why we distract ourselves. Yeah? But the other me, myself. Yeah? How do I define myself? Body. Yeah? We look after our body the whole life. Yeah? We work for the body. Yeah? We live for the body, and then this body dies, damn it. Yeah? We work so hard. Yeah? Huh? No? And then it gets older, and the older it gets, the more pain comes. Yeah? Wait a few more years. I didn't believe it. When I was young, when I was still 30 or 40, I didn't believe, I couldn't imagine how it is, to be old. Yeah? But then, yeah? Suddenly you don't get up, suddenly you fall over, because something is not working anymore with your car. Yeah? Yeah? It's just like your car, it breaks down once in a while, and then you need to get it to the repair shop. Our body breaks down once in a while, and then we need to get it to the repair shop that is called hospital or doctor. Yeah? And then we repair this body, and when the body is repaired, we feel happy again. So fine again. So what is the difference between a car and a body? When you were born in a car, just imagine, you're born in a car and you die in a car, then of course you believe you are the car. How can you not believe you're the car? You're born in the body, you die in the body, and you believe you're the body. Oh? That's what we do, yeah? When you present yourself to others, you use the body to present yourself. Yeah? No? The first thing, yeah? When you want to meet a new person here, you wash your hair, you wash your body, you put nice clothes on. Yeah? No? Of course everybody does it. Yeah? you don't go, dirty, with filthy hair, and yeah. No. You present yourself, with the body, with the appearance of the body. Yeah? Yeah? With the hairstyle, with the clothes that you wear. Yeah? And with the gestures of God. And then the second part is, with your thoughts, with your views, with your opinions. Yeah? And you remember 5 years ago, did you think in the same way? Did you view the things in the same way? Or 20 years ago? Huh? It was very different. Huh? So are you that person 20 years ago? Are you the person now? Which person are you? Which kind of memories, did last, did not change. Memories constantly change. Thoughts, views, opinions constantly change. We hear something new, we form a new opinion. No? So how can we call these things me? Mind, heart, body, feelings, memory, thoughts, association, and consciousness. That's what makes us. Anything else that doesn't belong to these groups, that Boowa has forgotten to mention, called the five khandhas. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Body, feelings, be it bodily feelings or mental feelings, memory, association, thoughts, consciousness. Anything else that you would call I, me, mind? No. And who knows that there's a feeling? Huh? Is there anybody that knows there's a sad feeling? When you call, I'm sad? Who knows that sadness is sad? Who knows that there's anger? Who knows that there's greed? Yeah? Who knows that? Hello, wake up. There's somebody sitting inside the car who's driving that car. Huh? Who knows the way? Yeah? Who knows left and right? You know, who knows that the car is going left or right? No? But this driver has never woken up. Yeah? And that is called our heart or our chitta. This chitta knows everything, knows every movement that is going on in the heart. Yeah? Just like the driver of the car knows every movement that is going on with the car. Yeah? Be the feeling, you know, that chitta knows, you know, there's a feeling coming up, or there's a thought coming up, or there's a formation of a thought, or there's a formation of a memory. That's called the chitta, the heart, the knowing nature. It knows things, but it never touches. It just knows. Into this knowing nature, we lost the connection. Or in other terms, we lost the connection to our heart. Now addressing the woman, when you say, oh, you know, we have a heart, you know, the men don't have a heart. What do you think, you know, is your heart? Feelings, emotions? That's what you call your heart? Think about it. I feel. That's what we call the heart. It's just one of the khandhas, one of the groups. So the Lord Buddha was talking or teaching about these three principles, anicca, anatta, dukkha. So anicca is impermanence. You know, everything arises and ceases. Thoughts arise pretty quickly and cease pretty quickly. Feelings, you know, will stay on a little bit longer. Yeah, and the body is the thing that stays on the longest. Yeah, we don't see it actually arising and ceasing. We just know we are born and then we know we are dead. So we don't actually see it. But the other things we see very quickly. And who is the one who sees them? Who is the one who knows, you know, that the feeling arises and ceases? Yeah? So that is called impermanence or anicca. Anatta, that whatever I can see, it cannot be me. No? You see this glass? You say it's not you. Yeah? So look at the hand of your neighbor, it's his hand. Yeah? Look at your own hand, it's my hand. It's my feeling, it's his feeling. There is a feeling. The subject knows an object. So, I'm the subject, this is an object. Whenever the subject knows an object, it can describe this object. Like you can describe feelings, like you can describe thoughts, like you can describe opinions, views. Yeah? So who is the subject? Huh? Huh? Who is the one who knows? Yeah? That there is something arising and ceasing. Yeah? When you watch a movie, what happens? Most of the time you get lost in the movie. You don't notice the subject anymore. Or with the younger generation, they get lost in the video game they're playing. Huh? They don't even know that they're sitting there anymore. Their hands move around and they get angry, you know, they get pissed, you know, and that's game over. And then they play it again and again. Just like we play our game of life over and over again. Huh? Death, same as game over. Have a new game. You can't get enough of these games. Huh? So this person, you know, who watches a movie, is suddenly in this movie, yeah, and plays, you know, and gets angry about this character, or falls in love with that character, you know. And for that time, we don't realize that there is a subject that watches an object. So we get caught up in this game. That's why it's called Hollywood Dream Factory. It factures, you know, it makes all these dreams. Where we love to fall into these dreams. We like to. So why shouldn't it be different that we fall into this dream that these 5 khandhas are us? We believe these 5 khandhas to be us. The body, feeling, memory, association. We think they are us. But who knows that there is a feeling? The moment, just try it out for yourself. When you say I'm in pain, then just change the saying I'm in pain to there is pain. Then you have an object that you can investigate. If you say I'm in pain, finished. I'm tired, finished. I'm sad, finished. But if you say there is sadness, then you have an object that you can investigate. When you say there's tiredness, then you have an object. How does it feel tired? How is it different, from discomfort or from boredom? Most of the time, especially when we meditate, when we get bored, we get tired and we fall asleep. If you would remember in these cases when we get so tired to bring up something that angers us, we would not be angry. We would not be tired anymore. Just like we watch a boring movie, we get tired. When there's an exciting movie, we don't get tired. And meditation is quite boring. We have to look always at the same object. Or the breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. So how do we get to our heart? How do we find the way to our heart? To this knowingness. And actually it is not very difficult. And the path that leads to the end of dukkha is sila, samadhi, panya. Sila is keeping the 5 precepts. I don't want to repeat it today. Samadhi. Samadhi is the ability to concentrate. Concentrate on one object. Being able to concentrate on one object. Can we still do that? We're constantly distracted with all these things that are going on around us. So concentrating on one object, you're always bringing the mind back to the breath, at the tip of the nose, knowing that it is the in-breath, knowing that it's the out-breath, or back to the Buddha. We find it very, very difficult. Especially when we are very young, and know only the smartphones. And constantly are agitated by or playing around with these things. Then it is very difficult. For the older generation, How was it, 60 years ago? 50 years ago? Did you have your phone in your pocket? Did you even know that the phone was ringing when we were not at home? No, we didn't know. It reminds me, what did I say before? If we don't know, it doesn't make us. Now we look at our smartphone and it says, 5 missed calls. Who called? It was important. I need to take my phone wherever I go. Maybe there's an important call. But before that, 40, 50 years ago, we didn't know. And we didn't care. If somebody, when we wanted to visit somebody, we just went to his house. If he was there, then we met him. If he wasn't there, we didn't meet him. But we don't know, we forgot about all these things. So samadhi is the ability to concentrate on one point. And when we are good at it, when the mind stays in the Buddha, or when the mind stays, at the tip of the nose, it knows the breath going in and going out, and thoughts cease to exist, cease, and memory cease. What kind of world is that? What is happening there? There's no past, there's no future.
Present.
That's just calmness or peacefulness or happiness. And that's what we're actually looking for. But we're looking outside, we never look inside. All what we need to do to find happiness, pure happiness, or pure comfort is inside our heart. And what we need to do is, just concentrate on the tip of the nose. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, breath is long, breath is short, breath is rough, breath is subtle, until all the thoughts stop, and all the memories stop. And then we are like in the safe house. There's no fear, there's no worry, there's no future, there's no past. There's just the experience of whatever is going on. And the first time we don't feel dukkha. Because we are comfortable. We don't want anything to change. And that's what we realize if we are staying a little bit longer in this kind of samadhi. We realize we don't need anything to be happy. Only when we come out of samadhi, we need all these things that make us happy. And when we are in samadhi, we don't need anything that makes us happy because our nature is being happy or being at peace. So why do we, not doing it? Why are we not doing it? Because it's so difficult. It's much easier to send an SMS, or to watch a movie, or to do this or do that. Why are we not? And it's so easy. And it actually, it would help us, in our daily life as well. The better we can concentrate, the better, we can get our work done. I remember, when I was still working and start meditation, in the end, because of my better concentration, I could do things in 3 hours, what I normally needed 8 hours for. Because my mind constantly went off, But when I concentrated on the work, it was very fast. Our mind is very powerful, extremely powerful. But we don't want to use it, We constantly only want to distract ourselves. And we don't want to make it powerful. We are afraid, when it is powerful and it's full of energy. So that was the first stage of samadhi. Yeah? The first stage of samadhi is called normally upachara samadhi or access samadhi. It is just a world of experience without any judgment. There's no judging. Yeah? This is good, this is bad, this I want more, this I want less. Yeah? No, there's just this experience of happiness or peacefulness or calmness. And then we can go on. Yeah? We can go deeper. Yeah? We go on with staying on the Buddha, or we stay with the breath, yeah, and until our mind really concentrates into one point. It gets so difficult just to think one Buddha, yeah. And then we realize it, yeah, and then we jump into this knowingness that knows that we can't think Buddha anymore. Or, in the other case, when we observe the breath becomes very subtle, yeah? But the knowingness of the breath becomes very obvious, very clear. And then there's one moment, where the breath stops. And we know that the breath stops. So we also go into this knowingness, into this one point. What can we say about one point? When subject and object meets into one point? Nothing. The whole world, the whole universe disappears. And before that already our body has disappeared. Because our concentration is so strong that the heart or the chitta cannot keep up with all the information that comes in through the senses. So it blocks our deep senses because the concentration on the breath or the Buddha is so strong. Yeah? So we don't even know we have a body. And then, once we get into this one point, it means the whole universe disappears. And when we come out, we know that this is all an illusion. It doesn't really exist. Yeah? And that is called the preview of Nibbana. Yeah? When the Lord Buddha talked about Nibbana or enlightenment or freedom, yeah, freedom from dukkha or extinction of dukkha, that's it. That's a preview. Yeah. Just like a movie, we see a preview. Oh, it's nice, I want to see the movie. Yeah. This preview of Nibbana is the same thing. Yeah. We see it, we experience it, we come out, and the first thought, I guarantee you, how do we get there? We don't want to live in this world that constantly, our senses are bombarded, with all these things, yeah. I mean, it is like, you're in the middle of two fighting armies and all the bullets, go through you, yeah. And the bullets of the senses, yeah. I mean, they're hitting really hard. I mean, if you stay in this, or even in the Upachara Samadhi for an hour or for 2 hours, yeah. When you come out, you feel all these senses, constantly bombarding you, constantly making you to act upon them. Yeah? That's just like a world war. Yeah? Sometimes it really feels like it. And then that's why you want to go back. Yeah? You want to go back into Apana Samadhi where everything ceases to exist. And you're just happy. Yeah? You're comfortable. And that's all what we need to do is sit down or do walking meditation, yeah? And keeping our attention on the Buddha or keeping our attention on the breath and to experience that, yeah? But we like to read about it, yeah? How nice it is, yeah? And if somebody tells us how nice it is, we love to hear that, yeah? But we don't like to actually to do the work, yeah? To get there. Because, we start, half an hour, there's so much pain, let's get up, and it's, and then we get up. And then all our effort was in vain, yeah? And then we have to sit down again, and then half an hour later, or maybe an hour later, the pain comes again, yeah? And we are bothered by this pain, why is this pain here? So excruciating, I can't sit, I will break my leg if I sit longer. Huh? When we watch a movie, we can sit for 2 or 3 hours, without breaking our legs or breaking our back. But the moment we meditate for half an hour or for an hour, we think we break, we ruin this body. Huh? This thought comes up. Then everybody of you knows that. We ruin this body, we break our leg, we break our back, or we ruin our health, The moment we get up, no more pain. And this is why I call you we are not human beings. We don't reflect upon it. How can this pain disappear just by getting up? Huh? Is it magic? It must be magic. We get up and there's no more pain. Wonderful, we don't even need a doctor. And before that, we can't bear this pain. Anybody who's trying to sit a little bit longer, knows this. Oh, I can't stand it anymore. And then you get up, happy. No more pain. Wonderful. That's the way how to overcome pain. No, that's the way how to evade pain. What is it? Then we should ask ourselves, what is pain? Why does it disappear when we stop meditating? Because only when we stop meditating, the pain disappears. We can try it out, in the moment the pain comes and we think about something nice, beautiful, remember an old movie, we still can sit for another hour. But if we try to focus our attention on the Buddha or on the breath, we can't sit anymore. But if you think about something nice or entertaining, or if you take our smartphone and play with it, we can sit for another hour. Before that, we couldn't sit. So it's not the pain of the body, even though we feel it. We feel it very strongly. That's why we have to investigate and ask ourselves, what is pain? What the hell is pain? Where is it? But we dislike pain. That's what makes it strong. The moment we like pain, think, wonderful, now I have a very stable object. My Buddha was always disappearing, but this pain doesn't disappear. Let's concentrate on this pain. And look, you know what it is. That's what we have to do that. What is this pain? Where is it? Where is it coming from? Where is it located? The first thing is all kinds of feelings. No matter if it is fear, no matter if it is pain, no matter if it is restlessness, no matter if it is boredom, we have to investigate these things. Because they are just, what we are using are just words, they are symbols. The symbols, we generated, over how many lives we don't even know. We use these words, to describe something, that we feel. But now we just use these words and we don't even know what we feel. Now we have to go back, go back to the roots. Go back to our ancestors. Go back to the roots of the problem. So what is pain? Where is the pain? Is it in the skin? Is it in the bones? Is it in the flesh? Is it in the tendon? Is it in moving? Is it changing? But we don't like to investigate it. That's why the first thing is we have to accept it. We have to feel it. And that's what most of us can't do. Really breathe it in. Feel the pain. Accept it. And then start to investigate. What happens to most who start doing it, the pain instantly goes away. Only when we sit then longer, 2 or 3 or 4 hours, and then it comes back and it doesn't go. And then we can investigate. And then the interesting thing what happens with pain is, was so excruciating. We just go down, investigate. Where is it actually located? Is it in the flesh? Is it in the bone? Is it in the tendons? And then you just come to the truth of it. and then it disappears from you and appears here. Wow, that's strange. There's no more pain here. All the pain is now here. Okay, we do the same thing at this point. We want to really know where the pain is coming from. Then it just comes very close to the truth of it, and then it appears suddenly in our back or in our shoulders. And then we go from one location to the next location until it actually shows us where it comes from. And then we understand what is pain. But most of us can't do it. They will give up. It's okay to give up. It's a fight. We have to fight all these things. We have to fight the kilesas, we have to fight them each other. And this fight, just starts, for everyone. Everybody, will go through the same problems. Every meditator, no matter when he takes it up. It's a fight against the champion. My master, Maha, said it, you go as an unexperienced boxer in the boxing ring with a champion there, and the first thing that you know is you're kicked out, knocked KO, The moment you wake up, you go back in the boxing ring because you don't want to give up. Until you understand how this champion boxes, And then you can duck sometimes, and then you already feel happy. You feel so happy that you don't see the next blow coming. And then you're knocked out. And through this constantly going back into the boxing ring, constantly fighting with these good lasers, the more you fight with it, the more you understand how they work. How this boxing, knocks you out. Until you can give him the first blow, When you see, there's a weak spot, hit him, and then he's knocked out, So that is it, that is the way of meditation, that is the way of practice. So we have to go in, Or you can compare, with a child learning to walk, It gets up, it falls over, it gets up, it falls over, It doesn't give up. Nobody of us gave up, Otherwise we wouldn't be able to walk. If you want to meditate, it's the same thing. You can't give up until you can do it. The only thing is, don't force it, the child doesn't force it, to walk, It just tries it, and sees what is working, And that's the same with meditation. You just try it again. Okay, the mind goes out. Okay, bring it back. Okay, bring it back. Okay, bring it back until it stays. And how long did it take us to learn to walk? A year and a half. And then learning to talk, a year and a year and a half. It's not an easy matter. And how often did we get frustrated? Not just walking, but with talking, we got really frustrated. Remember? Tried to say something to your parents, you wanted something, you uttered something, and they didn't understand you. Before they understood you, when you didn't talk. But when you start, learn to talk, they don't understand you. Because they, just like us, we just listen to the words. We listen to the sounds, we are more enticed by the sounds than anything else. Before the parents picked up instantly what we wanted. The moment we learn to talk, they can't pick it up anymore because they only pick up the sound. Just like we don't pick up the feelings of our partner because we listen to what he says. That's why we always misunderstand. If you would actually not listen to what he says, listen to his feelings or listen to his heart, we would understand him very well, what he needs, what his problem is. But we listen to the sound. So that's why we got really frustrated when learning to talk. But we tried it and tried it until people around us could understand us. And that's the same thing. We tried, just bring it to the back, just bring it to the back, or just stay back with the breath, until we can do it. And there's no way that we cannot learn it. But we need a lot of patience. Don't try to force it, because that just produces habit. We force the mind to go back to the Buddha. Come on, here. Come on. Yeah. That's where we have to use effort. Not to force it down. Because that just, makes us miserable and makes us depressed. And say, I can't. Yeah. It's just like a child, after 3 days or 3 weeks, learning to walk and tells him, Mother, I cannot walk. Yeah? Have you ever seen a child doing that? It wants to walk, so it learns to walk. Yeah? If you want to learn to meditate, you can learn. Yeah? But we have to be patient. Just try it again, and try it again, and try it. Once you can meditate and can stay in your Upacara Samadhi or you reach Apana Samadhi, mind gets really concentrated, and once it gets really concentrated, it gets very powerful, and then you can start to investigate the 5 khandhas that we believe we are. What is it? Just like I said with the feeling. What is the feeling? What is the body? What is the body? We love everything that goes onto the body or into the body. We dislike everything that goes out of the body. Why? I mean, if the body is something really beautiful, really amazing, really thing, we should like everything that goes in and goes out. The food that goes in we love, the shit that goes out we hate, we find disgusting. The hair that is on our head, we find lovely, The moment we wash it together with soap and it goes down in the drainage, we find it disgusting to pick it up. 5 minutes ago it was on our head and we loved it. And then it is down in the drainage, and we find it disgusting. Or it falls in our food and we find it disgusting. The women like to polish their nails, and then they paint their nails, And if they cut their nails, they find it disgusting. Just have them on the table where you have food, What kind of, what is this body? Are we crazy? Is that something? The moment it comes off, it falls off, the body, we find it disgusting. The skin that comes off, we find it disgusting. We don't like to look at it. No? So something is wrong with our view about the body. Either it is nice, then everything that goes onto the body or comes out of the body should be nice as well. No? Because and then you see, likes and dislikes, we like the things that goes on the body, we dislike the things that goes off the body. So greed and hate, is very closely related to the body. It's rooted within this body. With our opinions and views about the body, not the body is neutral. It's neither disgusting nor is it, nor is it loving. It's just a machine, Just like you think, you open the hood of your car and you look at the engine, It's neutral, You don't find it disgusting, but you also don't like it. And that's the same with the body. So as long as you like things, and dislike things, we have to do investigation of the body to find out the nature of the body. Why do we like the things, that go inside of the body? Why do we dislike the things that come out of the body? Why do we dislike our sweat? Think about the spittle that you have here in your mouth, You do exchange it with your partner, But when you spit it out in your own hand, and 5 minutes later, want to lick it in, you find it disgusting. Try it out. you don't want to have it back. You have it 24 hours in your mouth, but you don't want it back. Once it goes out, you don't want it back. Why? Why? Must be something, Yeah? Something must be wrong with our thinking. And that's exactly what we have to investigate. This body. Yeah? Actually, the investigation of the body, when we look at the 4 stages of enlightenment, Sotapanna is the stream enter, Sakadagami is the once returner, Anagami is the non-returner, and it all has to do with the body investigation. First, to see that the body is not self, is one of the prerequisites to enter Sotapanna. Then Sakadagami, greed and hatred is reduced to half. Yeah? So we investigate the loathsomeness of the body or the disgusting nature of the body. Yeah? Until the stage of Anagami, then body investigation is finished. Then we don't return. We never come back in any kind of form, not as a deva, not as a heavenly being, nor as a human being, nor as a being in hell. Yeah? Just through investigation of this strange phenomena we call body. We love it, yeah? I mean, it's a nice tool. That's what we should view it as. It's a tool, just like a car is a tool to drive us from this place to that. Yeah? But it's much more complicated. That's why I call it a biological robot. Yeah? We have all these robots, industrial robots. Yeah? We know how long we need to program them. If you don't know, watch a YouTube video. Yeah? You see, sometimes 3 to 6 months. Yeah? Just for a simple task. Yeah? And our body, how long do we program it? 16 years. 16 years, yeah? From learning to move, to walk, to talk, to think, yeah? Thinking takes the longest time, yeah? We go from primary school to middle school, to high school to university, yeah? To think properly, yeah? To be able to deduce, to be able to change our programming, and to use the body in all sorts of ways, yeah? It's a fantastic tool, but that's what it is. Yeah? It's not there to like or dislike, yeah? It's just a tool, yeah, that we use. Yeah? And the Lord Buddha said, this tool is very important if you want to find a way out, yeah? Out of the hamster wheel. And that's why we have to investigate. And the investigation is finished, then we investigate the other kammas, yeah? Feeling, yeah? Thoughts and memory. So greed and hatred is within the body, is rooted within the body, yeah? Base illusion rooted into thoughts and memories. And they're always coming with time. Yeah? They always come together, thoughts and memories. They are so closely, yeah? So you have to rip them apart to see, how delusion hides in between. And then the only thing that is left, for us to do is, to get rid of the slave driver. Yeah? Get rid of it. Yeah? I mean, he really drives you nuts. Yeah? Sometimes. Yeah? No? You need to do this, you need to pass this exam, you need to get, you need to step up the ladder, yeah? It drives us crazy, yeah? Sometimes not. Yeah? Avijja, mastermind. It deludes us, yeah? Thinking, this life is something, it's worthwhile. The moment you just reflect about this life, what is worthwhile in this life, yeah? You have to work for everything that you want, yeah? No? Yes, we have to work for everything that we want. And working is not nice, yeah? I mean, most of us loathe it, yeah? Now I have to go to work. Just in the morning, it's so nice to, to have, to sleep a little bit longer would be so nice, yeah? Just have a lengthy breakfast, yeah? Now I have to rush, to work, yeah? And I have to work, yeah? And all these comments from my colleagues, or the boss, doesn't like the work that I'm doing. Yeah? I mean, the most important thing is the path that leads us to the end of dukkha. And I think I explained it, yeah, more or less. It is the way of the first Maha to explain. Luang Man was the founder. Luang Man, Luang Sao were the founders of the forest tradition in Thailand. And the amazing thing about Luang Man was, he wasn't really sure how to practice correctly. So he asked the Arahants at the time of the Lord Buddha to show him how to sit in samadhi, how it is the correct way. Should I wear my chiwan, when I sit in samadhi? And they said, no, you don't need to wear it. I will just sit comfortably. And then he asked, how did you go Bindabad? And how did you walk Chandra? And they showed him. The Arahants at the time of the Lord Buddha came back and showed it to him. Of course, all the scholars would be now, it cannot be. How can somebody from Nibbana, come back and show us? But it is possible. Oh, not everybody, they haven't come to us. But Luang Man was half a Buddha, He hadn't got his statement from the Buddha that he will become the next Buddha. But he did half of his job already, and then he said, another 90 eons, 1 eon is one uncountable time. No, I don't want, I want to get out. But he had very good faculties, in that. I thought there was a question. He had very good faculties, and that's why he could, even the Lord Buddha came and taught him, And then he asked him, how can you appear in front of me? And then Lord Buddha answered, I remember my previous appearance, and I took on this appearance in order to come to you and teach it. This teaching was more scolding than a teaching. You can read it in the spiritual biography of Luang Man. It is amazing, he asked the Arahants, how did you die when you were in Shokram? And they showed him how they died.
How come? Because it's already Lavanda. How comes
that is the Lord Buddha said something about Nibbana. Neither am I, nor am I not. And that is something people really do not understand. What does it mean? Neither am I, nor am I not. What does it mean? We can't even imagine it. And scholars think, everything disappears. But that's what he said. No, neither am I not. So they can take up this appearance again, if they think it is necessary. That's what they did. So they showed him how they died, while they walked in Chongpa, they showed him how they died when they were sitting in Samadhi and so on. Whatever he was interested, and that's what he took, in order to teach the path. To teach the path properly, for the forest tradition in Thailand. And he had 2 disciples, he said, there are 2 disciples who will follow my path. Luang Man said there are 2 disciples who will follow my path. One of the disciples was Luangta Maha, that was my wonderful teacher. And he did the same, he didn't change anything. And this Luangpa is rather stupid, he doesn't want to change anything. Whatever his teacher said, he just follows it. I'm not so wise as my teacher. Well, why should I change things the way he taught me?
That's careful.
But there are lots of changes, in the forest tradition nowadays. I'm not as clever as my teacher. I'm not as clever as the Buddha. And even Luang Man said, I'm not as clever as Buddha. Why should I change his teaching? But nowadays, scholars, study, the teaching of the Lord Buddha, and they think, oh, this is not good, that is not good, this is not good, we don't need this, this is, old-fashioned. Yeah, I mean our science is much cleverer. No, we know our science is not at all clever. Every 10 or 15 years we revise our science because we didn't understand why this bridge, fell over. Now we understand it, now we can correct it. Yeah? But nowadays we say, now we know it. Yeah? And just wait for 20 years, and then, this building collapses, or this nuclear power plant goes up, And through this experience we learn. Yeah? But we are so conceited that we believe in now, yeah, and cannot even imagine that somebody 200 years or 2,500 years ago knew much better than we. Yeah? You can't imagine that. Yeah? When Luangta Maha was sick or was close to die, doctors, from the top hospitals came, to take care of him. And they asked him, yeah, we want to examine you, yeah. We want to see, if you have fever or this, how your blood pressure is. And Luangta Maha told him, you don't need to examine me. Huh? You will never be able to understand as well as I am. I know my body much better than you. I examine myself, and I know in what condition I am. Narayan knows much more, than anybody else. I mean, if we do investigation of the body correctly, we can examine this body much better. Yeah? I mean, we see internally what is wrong. Yeah? And there are no machines, there are hardly any machines that can examine as closely as our chitta that knows this body. Yeah? Just like an engineer knows the machine that he builds. Yeah? When it malfunctions, he knows where the problem is. Yeah? Okay, so I think it's enough for today. Okay? Wow.